Gosh, really? The world's at stake, and you want him to stay home to do his
She
homework.
wants him to be book smart while saving the world.
Right.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Tuesday Morning Shenanigans, filmed inside Maui Comics and Collectibles. I'm Aaron, and alongside me is Ryan of Hawaii Trendsetters, and of course, I'm from the Rave Corner. Now, today's topic is, of course, talking about our favorite Dragon Ball Z characters, as hinted by our display. So, Ryan, let's start with you. Who's your favorite Dragon Ball Z character?
I'd have to say Gohan, and the reason why I like Gohan is because when he first started out in Dragon Ball Z, and he was kind of a wimp to say the least.
Right.
He was very timid. He was not courageous at all or anything like that. He wasn't bold or brave, except for that one split moment where he got really angry and he headbutted Raditz in his midsection and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But throughout the series, especially when he went to train with Piccolo and stuff like that, he was still a bit timid. Even when they went to Namek, he was a bit timid. It wasn't until the Cell Saga is when he really shined. When he went Super Saiyan 2, and he was the first one to go Super Saiyan 2. And it just goes to show, how much potential Gohan has. And that's what I like about Gohan, is like he represents people that have potential, and they're so humble that they don't want to show it, or maybe even so much so that they don't display it at all until that time comes when they need it the most, and that's when it really shines and it really shows. And that's why from a philosophical point of view, that's why I really like Gohan, is because of those attributes.
It's funny because in order to get his potential to actually shine, you have to do something really drastic in order to make it come out.
Exactly. It has to really mean something to him. He's seen people that he loved in danger, and that's when he really was like, I can't let this happen, and he did something about it. And I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, to name a few. Again, back to Raditz. He saw his dad getting beaten up.
Right.
Therefore, he had to do something.
Yeah, he had to do something about it.
Second encounter that I remember is when Piccolo just grabbed Gohan and threw him at that little plateau.
Right.
And then he left his powers.
During the time they were training, right? in
Yeah,
Dragon
just
Ball
blowing
Z.
up.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. But later on in the series, he does get really strong, and there was always a hindrance, and that was his mom, Chi Chi, and that sucks. And that's also can be like metaphorically, for us, like there's always something blocking us, and there's always something holding us back, whether it's anxiety or even like people or peers, or whatever the case may be. There's always something that's holding us back, but deep down inside we all know that we have the potential. And just like Gohan knew that he had the potential. It's just there was things that were hindering him at the time.
and during his training, what was one of the most frustrating moments where you watched the show and you thought, Gohan, you got to do something like right now?
Right. Well, the time they were in the hyperbolic chamber, and they were training, the time that he just kind of like flashed Super Saiyan, and I was like, dang it, come on, man, you need to get there. Like, the world is at stake. You need to like power up already. Hurry up. That was kind of frustrating to me. But for the most part, I mean, he was young, so it's not like you can expect so much out of him.
That's true.
But later on, I mean, he became one of the strongest, of them all. In fact, like he could surpass Goku anytime. It's just, he's like I said, Chi-Chi holds him back. She's always like, you need to concentrate on school and this and
your
that.
homework,
It's like,
yeah.
oh my gosh, really? The world's at stake, and you want him to stay home to do his homework.
She wants him to be book smart while saving the world.
Right.
Well, for me, of course, I gotta admit, most of my SH Figure Arts collection, I do have a perfect cell, but most of them is Vegeta and Son Goku. Mostly it's because of the chemistry. It's the fact that Son Goku, of course, he had to leave planet Vegeta because it was being attacked by Frieza. But It's the part where he actually grew up and learned how to cope with humans, and suddenly he became Earth's biggest hope to actually save mankind and everything involving nature. But at the same time, you got Prince Vegeta, who knew what their purpose was. He shows up, and when he sees this weird, Earth-loving Son Goku, he thinks he's a disgrace to the Saiyans. But what irritates him more is the fact that Son Goku was able to reach Super Saiyan first. So it drives him absolutely insane. He's like, why is this, this life so unfair? And in a way, he turns out to be a jerk. But as the story goes on, and from the time he becomes, he has his affair with Bulma, and would you call it an affair or more like love? It's love.
Oh, it's love.
It's love.
It's love.
So when he fell in love with Bulma, and then they had, of course, Trunks. That's when he starts to wind down just a little bit, but his jealousy at that point becomes comical.
Right. Yeah, especially in the newer series of like Dragon Ball Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's very comedic in there.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you promised. Trunks said you promised me that you would take me to the amusement park, and he's there. He's bored out of his mind.
Right.
Then suddenly he says, "Okay, that's it. I'm gonna go train because Son Goku's training too."
And there's other comical parts, but
exactly.
we'll save it.
Exactly. And aside from the two Saiyans, which is obviously a given, there are other characters that have a special ranking in my standards. It's the characters who I consider to be strange. In other words, they're underestimated until they show what they can really do. Then all of a sudden people are like, whoa, they're the real deal.
Wow.
So the first character that comes to my mind is, of course, Master Roshi.
Okay.
So aside from his adult taste,
his perv.
yeah. Aside from that, here we see an old man wearing a kame shell, right? And everybody looks at him and he's like, "Oh, what's this old man gonna do?" But he's the guy who trained Son Goku, and at the same time, he possessed all these superhuman powers. And of course, he's one of the inspirations for Tung Fu, which is a character in Fatal Fury. But it's the fact that some old man that you think can't do anything at all. I think he's 200 years old at the time in the show. Correct me if I'm wrong, by the way. And he's suddenly able to still do the Kamehameha, and he can buff himself up and really do some damage. Another character is Ginyu Force. I love their antics. The fact that they do
rock, paper, scissors.
Exactly.
Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, their antics, and the fact that they appear, I guess, maybe flamboyant or maybe a little too cheerful to be a warrior, but at the same time, they got the powers to actually back themselves up, and there's a reason why they are one of Frieza's most trusted hench group, if that makes sense. And the one character that actually stood out to me was Goldo. Again, we have this short, fat guy.
Time freeze!
Exactly. He actually made me think that controlling time is actually a cool power to have. It's the fact that, here's this short, fat guy, and you're like, oh, what can he do? And suddenly he's pulling all of these quick, last-minute maneuvers to you, and you wonder how the heck is this possible? And, of course, people will say, well, he was struggling with his fight with Krillin and Son Gohan, but I always have to point out that, just remember, he had them trapped in a mind web and was about to kill them if it wasn't for Vegeta's interference. So Vegeta himself said it was the only way he could defeat Goldo is to actually attack him from behind when he least expected. Right. So, needless to say, if there was ever an SH figure arts of the Ginyu Force, of course I'm going to buy them.
Another thing too about his power, even though he could freeze time, it had its limits because its drawbacks, because he could only hold time as long as he could hold his breath.
Yeah, and that's a really big drawback. And at the same time, I wonder, does he really have to hold him that long? What happens if he just, let's say, move a little bit out the way, exhale, and then breathe in the next 2 seconds? I think he could probably get it done. He doesn't have to wait until he's maxed out, exhale, and then catch his breath again to freeze time another 30 seconds or so.
But I mean, you gotta remember too, like Vegeta guys, like and Goku guys, they can move within a split second. They can be like, like
that
real quick. So like, even if he did like, like that, within that split time, like that short amount of time, Goku could like do some pretty good damage to him.
That is true.
Yeah,
that is true. Yeah. Well, at least his powers were good enough to take on, I guess, super Earthlings.
Right.
But that is a very good point.
I gotta say also, like, to me, Majin Buu is also one of my favorites too. Yeah, Majin Buu. Because he's just like, the first form, like his original form. Like he's just fun. This cute, chubby, pink thing that just like he just wants to have fun, but he's just misunderstood and stuff like that. Like,
yeah,
he's not really. I mean, he's a terror. He's kind of like a child in their terrible twos. You know what I mean? He's kind of like that. They're innocent, but at the same time they don't know any better, and they're just like,
Yeah.
So that's the way I view Majin Buu. His next forms were the ones that are like real bad. Other than that, yeah, it was just him being a kid.
Yes, and speaking about Majin Buu, we're going to wrap up this show with a random question of the day, and this pertains to Majin Buu. So, in Dragon Ball Z War of the Gods, Beerus, the god of destruction, was upset, especially when Buu actually hogged all of the pudding to himself and, started to lick every one of them.
He's like...
claiming it, yeah. And Beerus is the type of god who goes across the universe to different planets, and he likes to taste food that is exotic within that planet.
Right.
So
he's a connoisseur. He's a food connoisseur.
Food connoisseur. Yeah. Basically, that's what determines whether he wants to destroy a planet or not. Is the food good?
Is the food good? If the food is good, they're good. We won't destroy the planet.
The harshest food critic in the universe. Yes. So the random question is, okay, so at this point, Beerus is seriously ticked off, and we've seen Prince Vegeta himself try to calm down the matters.
Right.
If we were in his shoes, what would you do to try to calm him down?
I'll do a belly dance.
No,
I mean, the beautiful thing is that, like, experiencing Japan for myself, one thing I loved about Japan was the food. Like, when I went there, like, anywhere I went, like, ramen was like, it was on point. Like, I could not get sick of ramen. Like, I was just going to like almost every single ramen shop and just like, ramen, oh my gosh.
Wait, so you're saying that
I would serve him ramen
made from your own heart and hard work, sweat?
No, I'll be like, follow me, and I'll take him to like one of my favorite shops in Tokyo.
This is the best ramen shop.
I'll take him to the ramen museum in Shin Yokohama that I went to. Which was awesome, and it was underground, and it was like just a bunch of different types of ramen from different styles of ramen from different regions of Japan.
Right.
By different chefs from different regions of Japan, and oh man, it was amazing. I wish I had a bigger stomach because I would have tried them all. I only got to try a few.
You know what I would do? Make balloon animals.
Make balloon animals? That would be our solution.
Well, we're at a birthday party, right? Like, Beerus, don't be afraid. Here, look what I can do. Here's a puppy. You want an elephant? Here's your elephant. Oh, wait, I'm going to kick it up a notch. A giraffe.
But what if it pops and it startles him and he's like, oh!
I can make more. I can make more.
No, by then the planet is blown up because it startles him and his knee-jerk reaction is just...
I can only hope that Whis is there to actually calm him down.
Right.
Oh, jeez.
Right.
So we are out of time, but big thanks to Maui Comics and Collectibles. Yeah. Do follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Maui Comics. And if you like this episode and would love to see more episodes of Tuesday Morning Shenanigans into the future, feel free to like, subscribe, or leave a comment in the comment section below. Do follow Hawaii Trendsetters, Facebook and Instagram at Hawaii Trendsetters, and see more figure reviews at the Rave Corner, which link will be posted in the description below. Until then, thank you for checking out the video.